this is what I believe, that they desire a certain reaction because their end goal is chaos, and they are pushing for a certain reaction in order to get things chaotic, right? Because of what happened with the shooting and then what happened in Dallas. Now, those things can be looked at like the broader scale things. The police shooting could be looked at as a false flag in order to get a reaction, because you might have some people that saying, okay, if the police are shooting and I'm finna put a stigma with Black Lives Matter, because the end goal is to make that organization or anybody that's affiliated with that organization look like terrorists. So they designed something to happen at one of their rallies in order to push a terrorist stigma on it. Now, you got to look at, now I'm not for that movement, but I'm for the idea of Black Lives Do Matter. But the movement was started by a Jewish guy. The Jewish people want to control both spectrums on both sides. So they'll create the KKK and they'll create the NAACP at the same time in order to get conflict, in order to control both sides of the spectrum. So when I looked at it, okay, I said, okay, now we got all these slave movies that's coming out. All of a sudden, they start coming out back to back. They'll get you prepared for these killings. Because as you watch them, it start replaying in your mind. You can't even hardly go to work. You go to work and you all upset because of what happened. So you got all this stuff coming back to back. It's replaying all of a sudden. That's drawing emotions in your subconscious. That's being ready for the right moment to play out. That way you see a killing like that, and all of a sudden you getting extremely emotional now. Whether you ready to go down like, look, I ain't talking no more. We got to get some guns. We got to get ready. We got to start killing. You see what I'm saying? In order to evoke those type of emotions. So then let's start rallying. Get everybody to start rallying and stuff in the streets. And you might have some people, and you know, we don't think this deep, but a lot of this stuff is set up in order for something to happen. Because again, their end goal is martial law. Because when martial law hit, that means the judicial system is out the way, the Constitution is out the way. And like I was saying, the more and more that I put fear in you, I could begin to control you. Because now it's no more of your constitutional rights when you get pulled over. You ain't got no rights no more. You don't even think about it no more. And the media don't let you think about it. All they say is this person was resistant. But wait a minute. Let's look at the laws that's on the books of how far a police officer can go with you and what's rights and what's not. But we minimize all that and say that don't matter. That person was resistant. Now, if I, just like in slavery, if I beat a slave in front of all the slaves, I would get compliance among all the slaves. So if I do killings that the world can see, that can bring compliance and fear that when I get pulled over by the police, all I want to do is get through this thing. So forget my rights, forget all those type of things. All I want to do is get through this. So if I start doing that, then I have the citizens can't trust the police. And then I start allowing citizens to start killing the police. Now the police can't trust the citizens. They scared for their lives. So what can bring the solve for both of that? Move the police out the way, bring in the military. That's right. Bring foreign troops on this soil. Now, if we're saying just compliance, 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 right? What's to say if I can pull up to your car and do everything I want with you? After a while, and everybody say just don't resist, I'm gonna knock on your door. Open your door. Let me get this up. Let me get this out of you. What's the difference? Then I can step into your home and violate any type of rights that you had. And if I shoot you then people still be saying, why they was resisting? Why they ain't just let them in the house? Why they ain't just let them get what they wanted to get? bringing more fear. That way, it's conditioning you for martial law. Because when martial law happens, I can come in there and take anything in your house. I can come take your children and put, because why would they need all these concentration camps already? They preparing for something. All these tanks. So I'm gonna stir up a racial war. Let me get this. Stir up a racial war. And by me stirring up that racial war, I'm already have people start getting on one side and another side, fighting against each other, getting upset. Now people always say, well, we got to come together, and we losing the unity. But the thing was, when was this nation ever united? Somebody tell me. All it needed was an issue to put light on the division that's already in everybody's heart. Because from this nation inception, from slavery time up until now, they showed that it can't be unity. That there's a big difference. You see what I'm saying? So the only way that unity can come is we all be truthful about what's going on. We all be truthful about what's in people's heart. Now, so they've put out all kind of movies, all this type of stuff to provoke you. Even have movies like Django. At the end, you see that the man shoot and kill everybody, and everybody's arraying it. All that type of stuff is psychological warfare. It plant them seeds in your mind. That way, I want you to get. That's why now we have to be like the scripture say, with patience possess your soul, because now we're getting pushed into doing something. Make your voice be heard. Oh no, nah, marching ain't gonna get it. They ain't looking at it that way. We got to turn it up. We got to do something else. We got to do this and do that. Now, before you know it, you getting all out of character. Because they want you to move off your emotions rather than the spirit. And that way, that's why I tell people, man, y'all got to be careful about going down there in the marches. Because you can go down there, so-called protesting, and it don't take but one nut to do something crazy, or that's been planted there to do something crazy, that the military all of a sudden have to go and start spraying people, shooting them. Now, you think about that. You got the police getting killed, got black people getting killed. Tension is already high. Now, watch this. I'm already trying to provoke something because I have studied you to watch your reactions when we do stuff. Just like the thing in New Orleans was a big test to see what we can do with the whole United States. Let's do a test on one city, put them into this dome, and let's see how stuff happens when we take stuff away from them. And at that time, you ain't had no rights, from what the people tell me. That was in Louisiana. They came and they did whatever they wanted to do with it and killed people on site. Now think about that on a global scale of what they're doing. So they need you to go down there, protest, and act a fool, so they can give an excuse to say, man, we need gun control. Let's take these guns out of people's hands, because people killing police, people killing each other. Now you take that, right? This already going on. And you bring, I'm finna cut off all government assistance. Now, people can't get food stamps. It's already happening in certain states. Food stamp, any kind of government assistance, you ain't get that stuff getting cut, slap off in different states. Now people's mind is already going crazy again because this is happening. They sitting back and waiting on the reaction, trying to see what you was gonna do. Now see how you're gonna react. That's going on. Now we ain't looking at it, but it's something that's called, where some of the banks are doing bail-ins. And what is a bail-in? A bail-in, when you before they was waiting on to be bailed out by the government. But a bail-in is, okay, the government ain't gonna help us, so we got to freeze the money that we have. So your money that's within their banks, you won't be able to get. Or let's do this in increments where we give you a daily limit and we start making that limit less and less. Might start off at $500. Oh no, you take more than $300 out, that's a problem. Then after a while, that thing will start getting lower and lower, where then all of a sudden there's a complete freeze on the money, and you talking about chaos, because people can't get their money out, people can't pay their bills, and all this type of stuff that's going on. All this stuff is to evoke emotions, to make it rampant, that we would seek for order from the government to bring in military control. because now the police can't trust the citizens can't trust the police, and they looking for us to be provoked and make the wrong decisions so they can implement their plans by our compliance and admission to it. So that's why it's important to even have meetings like that we're going to have, so the everyday police that's in the community and the people can build a relationship with the police. Because I think that's something that's missing in the community. That before, especially when I was a little kid, you would see some cops in the neighborhood, they would come out and say, what's up with the people, or just check on people, different things like that, or especially in my parents' house. But now it's like they just roaming through trying to get quotas and stuff like that. So it's important now not to get emotionally involved where you're making rash decisions, and you got to discipline your mind, because it's been a lot of things that's going to come and try to take your mind. A lot of things going to come and try to get you to act outside of your character in order to, because they need this type of reaction in order to implement the plan that they want to implement. You see what I'm saying? So let's kind of just go to the scripture and prove some of this, because this is the time that we are living in. Let's go to Jeremiah 30. Talk about Jacob's trouble a little bit. But this is the time we are entering that we've been in for a while, but it's finna take another height. And that's why I say now, spend as much time as you can memory-wise with your family. Spend time, do what you can together, because we finna enter into a season that we ain't never seen before in America. It's already building up. It's all around us. And I really don't think Obama gonna come out the seat the way they have things set up, because all we need is something national and big to happen. Because think of now, I'm already telling people, man, look, already be prepared in your mind for them not to convict those cops, because if they don't do that, then you're gonna get a crazy reaction. That's what they desire. You see what I'm saying? They want you to go crazy and go test stuff up, and so they can declare, okay, the state of emergency. We got to declare martial law because it just got that bad. We got to ban guns, take away your Second Amendment constitutional right. Well, we take away your guns, and if we take away guns, then we can come and do whatever to you. So it's important to understand that now it's time to be prayed up and begin to prepare to live in the end time. Lord was just speaking to me. Well, it's more praying and fasting that we have to do. He said you need to start eating for end time. Don't overindulge. Start learning how to not try to devour everything, because food ain't going to be there like that. So you already got to discipline your mind and get ready, preparing your mind. Okay, I need to already be looking at. I know the Lord going to provide a way, but he ain't just going to be providing a way for me to have more than enough and just abundance and all that type of stuff when we entering into that season. Same way even with your mind. Just preparing your mind. Don't allow your emotions to begin to take over. You got to discipline that. Or if not, when this crazy stuff going to happen, you'll be contemplating stuff like killing somebody, or either destroying somebody, or even destroying yourself. So you have to be careful with even disciplining your mind. Get this word in your mind. Don't get so caught up in your own everyday life that you're missing. Okay, if this stuff get cut off, I'm gonna go crazy. You see what I'm saying? So you got to discipline your heart, your mind, your spirit, and everything for end times. Because all these preachers that's talking about your blessing package and all that, they ain't finna have no message in a minute, because it's gonna get crazy. And the number one message they finna all start preaching is Romans 13, by obeying the power that be, the governmental powers. All that's finna come up. All right, let's look at Jeremiah 30. Let's look at the season what we finna come into. But it's good it's almost scary and sad that this stuff is happening, but then it's good because it's letting you know your redemption is drawing nearer. When all this stuff started happening, he said, "Look up, because you're getting closer and closer to your redemption." All right, it says Jeremiah 30. The word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, saying from the Lord, saying, "Thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, Write thee all these words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, said the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of the people of Israel and of Judah, said the Lord, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave their fathers and their possessors." So he's saying at the time when I'm getting ready to bring again the captivity of Judah, what is that saying? What that means to bring again or return the captivity of his people. I didn't hear you. Sound like going back into bondage. No, not necessarily going back into bondage. When he's saying return to captivity, that means that the captivity you in, you finna return back to your original state. And you ain't finna go into another captivity, but when you getting ready to go back into what I originally intended for you, these are the things that's going to be happening. So when it says, "For lo, the days come," said the Lord, "that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah," it said, "I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and that they possess it. And that these are the words that the Lord spoke concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus said the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins, a woman in travail, and all faces are turned to paleness." This is the stuff that's happening. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it, and even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." So what is that saying? It's going to come a time when we see that a man doeth look like he's travailing with child, that every man will have his hand on his loins, and a woman will travail, and all faces will be turned into paleness. For that day is great, and it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but they shall be saved out of it. This is showing you that Jacob's trouble is just not starting now, but it started even after the captivity of Babylon, even up until this time. Because when Israel started going into captivity like that, and return to the land and go into captivity again all the way up until the American time, that was times that Israel had never seen before. The type of captivities that our ancestors had been going through. So why would he need to do something even more in this captivity that we were in America? Because remember, when he pulled us out of Egypt, he pulled us out of Egypt. But we are left here in America. So what would he need to do to make sure we are prepared to return to him? How do he prepare you? Think about your regular life, your normal life. How he prepare you for your blessings? Send you through trials. Because what trials do? It qualifies you. It sees who really has qualified for the blessings, or who just was in it for the blessing package. So he need trouble in order to weed out or to purge those that are in Israel that's not really of Israel. You see what I'm saying? Because when trouble hit this land, all these other gods people believing in, and they see that I'm calling on this God and ain't nothing happening, they're going to let that go. And those of us that have become attached to the American dream, he have to do stuff. That's why we will see more killings. We will see more shootings. Because what he has to do, why would it more killings and more shootings be allowed? What would that do? Who? Provoke you to jealousy? Go ahead. Bring more chaos. Bring more chaos. But why would that be important in order to allow that to happen? Because it's going to cause you to be more in your emotions, and you're not going to, when we're in our emotions, we're not thinking right. And in order for the plan
the government's plan, it'll provoke us to rely on them and not him.
That's true. That's true.
I'll say, in order for all this to happen, you said that it's going to be a greater exodus. Then it has to be this so that exodus can come.
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. That this right here is going to bring in the people that's prepared for the exodus. Because if he would allow it to happen right now, a lot of God's people would stay here. Saying, no, America is my home. It's beautiful here, the land of the free and the brave. And my dream, I got businesses to take care of. I want to stay here. He had to let you see that this was prophesied to be the land of your captivity. And he has to show you that it still is, because a lot of us don't believe that. So he has to show the straight up hatred for you through what he's shown in the media. Even though it's constructed, God is allowing this to happen to show you. See what I'm saying? Is that your home? Is that where you want to stay? Is that what you think is best and beneficial for you? So he has to allow Jacob's trouble to happen in order for us to start travailing for God. Where are you? See, and then we'll be able to point back to the scripture to show people this is what's going on, and this is the purpose of it, to purge out the iniquity and sin out of your heart, and the main thing, the idol gods that you still worship, that you depend on. Everything that you have trust in, he's going to allow it to crumble, especially us that have trust in money. Because when the money is worth nothing no more and you can get nothing with it, you're going to either trust God or you're going to die. Or you're going to trust God or take the mark of the beast. Because all this stuff is set up. And we don't realize how close it is. Because if martial law hit, like I'm saying, that's straight up government control. You have no rights. You have nothing. Those of us that got food stored up, it don't matter. They can come in and take that. Got guns stored up, they can come in and take that. You own no property during martial law. Nothing is yours, even your children. You're talking about chaos. When I don't understand that and they can come in my house and start taking stuff, people gonna die. You see what I'm saying? But it seems almost like even your children, because we don't realize what a birth certificate does. Look that up. Look up what birth certificate and Social Security, what it is, what it really makes you and your children a corporate entity of the government. That they can.
You get it. But
they make you ain't no way out of it. They set up this system over here. They thought about it and they planned stuff out perfectly. That's why it's going to take God in order to get us out of these things. Now, I'm not saying none of this to be fearful, to put no fear in you. Because what God says, when gross darkness is upon the land and upon the people, to arise and shine. Because he's got something that he's saving that he ain't allowed the apostles to walk in, that we're going to be walking in. It ain't going to just be one deliverer. God's going to raise up deliverers in different places over here to prove, because he got to prove who you are. It can't just stay with debates and talking and fussing. No, that ain't going to get it. And he's not going to bring deliverance by one man or one religion now. It's going to be he's going to set up different deliverers in different places. That's going to be seeking after God in these times. And we're going to be able to do stuff that seemed impossible. That's why God say he laughed at their planning. Because he know what he got planned for his people. For those of us that have faith to operate in those things. That's why fasting, praying, meditating is important right now. So this is not nothing to scare you, but to get you prepared. Because in the end it says Judah shall be saved out of it. Let's keep reading. Verse 7, Last for this is the day of great, so that there's none that is like it, the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off his neck, and will burst the bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. So look what is happening. During this time of Jacob's trouble, it's going to be a time that he's breaking what? the yoke off our neck that we are here, that we have a yoke here. He's bursting the bonds that we have here. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of us no more. But they shall serve the Lord their God and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear not, O my servants Jacob, said the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. Is this the land of our captivity?
Yes.
Why would we say that?
The one that brought us over here.
That's simple. It's simple, y'all. They brought us over here. We was in this landmass, America, is where our captivity was, right? So this land would still and always be the land of what? Our captivity. So think about our ancestors that died, that was beat, burned, all those crazy things happened to them. If somebody was to come into your house and not take your children, ship them over to Australia, take them through hard slavery, rape them, beat them, kill them, lynch them, and do all those things, would you ever want your children to feel comfortable in that land? So to you, that's worrying about your children that's far off and you know what's happening to them, that land would always be the land of your captivity or your children's captivity because of what was done. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the Bible speaks of the land of our captivity. And it says, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, said the Lord, neither be dismayed, for Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar. Thy seed from the land of their captivity, and Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid ever again. Let me go to this other scripture. Y'all, when y'all get a chance, just read all the way down. Let's go to Psalms 2. We might come back to Jeremiah. Let me show you what else is going on. Psalms 2. And then we'll go to Joel if we have time. It's almost 5 o'clock though. Psalms 2. Somebody read that for me. Starting at verse 1.
Starting at verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
All right. Now the heathen is raging. But at the same time as the rage, the people are imagining a vain thing. What we say the heathens is raging now? All over. Everybody protesting, everybody mad. Even all over the world. It's raging. But yet, the people is imagining something vain. What could that be? I didn't hear you. Imagining a vain thing. What is that?
Things are gonna change. Like we have actually gonna get on top, have that kind of prosperity and all that stuff in this land will be free.
There you go. When you people are looking,
imagining this is really our home.
Mm-hmm.
This is really, where we're supposed to be and what's for us.
Exactly, and that all this stuff gonna end and everything gonna go back to the American dream. Because the vain thing is the American dream. That's vain. There's nothing in there. The big house, big car, the big land, my name in lights. So, okay, all this stuff going on, that's all right. We just got to unify and all this stuff going to get better and we're going to go right back to where it was before. So at the same time, with all this raging going on, people are imagining that everything is going to go back to just being beautiful and peaceful over here in America or wherever you are, and not realizing that end time prophecy must be fulfilled. We got to go through these things. It says, the kings of the earth have set themselves, and the rulers taking counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. What is that saying? The kings of the earth have set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. What king?
President. In our places.
Yeah, the elites.
Yeah.
Ain't it amazing that they can sit behind closed door and orchestrate all of this?
Right.
Now we just thinking reality is reality, and we just thinking, that nobody is really that evil to want to see people killed and want to benefit of just having power. We don't want to believe that because we think everybody is like us, and not realizing that there's some people out there that hate you and can't stand you and conspire behind closed doors another way that we can defeat them and destroy them. Let's set up these two groups against each other, and let's see what happens. Just like I was saying during the 70s time, let's set up the KKK, then we're going to set up the NAACP, and we're going to control both discourses of what happened and how we want them to react. Let's set up the Black Lives Matter. Let's set up the Blue Lives Matter. Let's set up the All Lives Matter and have them fuss and debate about that in order to control the discourse. Because a lot of times we look on TV and learn how to respond and how to react. So they can push a button. I'm going to push this button because I want y'all to get angry right now. So I'm going to have this happen. And if that happens, I'm going to push this other button over here so that'll cover that up so they won't worry about it now. Now think about this. The guys that got killed, the two black guys got killed, right? That sent the nation up in an uproar. Then we're going to set up something where the police get killed. Now, ain't nobody worried about that right there. They talk about that no more. That's kind of irrelevant now because now all the attention that went on the police. So now that's almost sliding behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? So they can control the discourse and have somebody come on the news station say something crazy in order to incite emotions out of you. So it says, let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords from us. So what they did, they built you up to have you trust in their system, then cold turkey cut you off. So I got you on my government assistance, got you trusting in me and everything. Then after a while, it says, we're going to cast their cords away from us. We're going to cut them off. And that's going to bring a chaotic mindset. Because after a while, you see your baby struggling to eat, struggling to live. You going to do something. Even if it's like going out there and you don't want to steal nothing, but you didn't just see your baby about to die, you ain't got no money, and you run out there and go do something like that and end up dead. Or end up chaos in the street. Just think about even with gas, when they can control the gas price, when they go up or go all the way down. Or they put out something that the gas is finna, close or stop. You'll see people miles and miles fighting, upset, going crazy. But it said, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, for the Lord have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vest them with his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my kingdom upon my holy hill. I will declare and decree, the Lord have said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. So the Lord is looking at all this and laughing at their plans. Because if they really could, this stuff would have been implemented a long time ago. But because of the grace of the Lord, he's allowing stuff to be held back so we can prepare our mind and get ourselves ready. Or prepare our hearts to believe him for those signs, miracles, and wonders. So, now we got 8 minutes. Yeah, well, we'll get more into it next Saturday. No, that'll be next Sunday.
What should we be doing right now? If, I don't mean to speak out of turn.
No, you're fine.
If you're saying, that, okay, if martial law comes, they can do X, Y, Z, and it's like I have conflicting thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I know when the water scare came, here in Augusta, and, our kids had missed that Friday. I know when I was praying, God had got on me because I left out of my house like at 11 o'clock at night to go get water, because that's when I realized we was in the so-called water scare. And he had told me, you know, that I needed to start storing water and stocking water. He told me that every time I go to the store, I need to buy 2 cases of water and not touch them. I haven't been so obedient, but I do have a good bit of water stored. Okay, so then I hear, you know, it's like, okay, well, if martial law comes, you know, you don't have control over anything, they can come in and, you know, take this or the food you have stocked up. You know, it's crazy because everything that you're saying is stuff that God's been dealing with me about food-wise. Even how I buy for my kids, you know, overbuying, you know, but it's like, is it fair to think in myself that, okay, maybe, you know, my house may be a house that they might not look at?
Well, it's like this.
It's like, how you supposed to get
I know,
you know
I know.
what I'm saying?
It's like this, though. You just prepare and plan, right? It doesn't mean systematically that time it hit, everything gonna be snatched from your home, because it's a process that they got to get down to different people in different states and different cities. So there's nothing wrong with preparing and stocking up stuff, because in the meantime, it's good to have stuff in your house. But until it get to the time, come on in, bro. Until it get to the time where your faith is going to be pulled upon. You see what I'm saying? So you can stock all you can right now. You see what I'm saying? Up until that time, we'll get to that point. Then you worry about the rest. Then you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, you preparing. Don't take what I said. You just be like, well, look, I ain't gonna get nothing. I ain't gonna worry about nothing. I'm just gonna believe God all the way, and it's gonna be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like you just have to prepare for what you can for the moment. If something hit, you'll be able to last however long you need to last, because you have that stuff already set up. But what I'm saying is, don't put your faith and your confidence in that, because that can be taken. And then if you don't know that, then your mind will be ready to be blown, because all this preparing I did, it didn't matter. You see what I'm saying? So you do both ends.
Right.
That's why, you know, it was most God talking to you when he was telling you to do those things. But it just, you don't put confidence in that.
Right.
All right, well, let's take a little short break, and we're going to get ready to start at 5 o'clock.